We're going to talk a little bit about taxes. I know if you tuned in the previous hour, we were going to talk about that. We just ran into some other things that came up. And we may even bring up a couple of those things that we brought up last hour. We'll do it a little bit later on this hour, just to let you know what's going on. Deadline looming for some people here in not that long, actually. A month or so, and then there was something else. Oh yes, I led with this in the previous hour. I won't go into it again, but for those of you who keep track of these things, this year, 2018, has been the worst for cryptocurrency. It's been worse than 2000 was for the dot-com bubble. Y'all remember dot-com bubble, do you not? NASDAQ was 5,000 some odd and going higher, and next thing we know, I don't even know what it went down to.
In the
2,000 something?
Somewhere, yeah, pretty low.
It may have even been lower than that. I don't know. What did they say? Let's see, it was here. NASDAQ Composite Index showed a decline of 78% during the worst of the time, so it had to have gotten down to well below, 2,500, because I know it was in at the end of February 2001, it was right around 5,000 something, and whatever the high was, it went down 78% according to Bloomberg. So anyway, those of you folks who are into that whole cryptocurrency bit whatever, just understand the risks that you're getting into. Didn't seem like a risky deal back a year or so ago, and that's about what it was. Just like dot-com stocks seemed like a sure thing back in the late 90s. Trouble with dot-com stocks was that it really was the thing to do for about 3 years. This whole cryptocurrency thing was sort of brand new to people, and it jumped out at them, and it didn't last long. At least, that's where we stand today. So anyway, NASDAQ came back. I don't know if this whole cryptocurrency thing will, but just understand there are risks. There are big risks in doing what you're doing. Anything like that, any new technology. All right, so anyway, coming up this hour, we're going to be talking about something else, taxes, and avoiding what we call the tax headache in 2019. Some of these things we have talked about before on various programs at various times here in the past, but I want to bring these up anyway. Once again, because we are now just a couple of weeks away from starting the fourth quarter of 2018. There is enough time. I think when we talked about this, whenever it was in July or early August, there was still a good part of the year left for people to do something. Now, as we're getting just toward the fourth quarter of 2018, you really are starting to run out of time to make any moves that are going to be effective for you. To potentially, not necessarily lower your overall taxes, although you still have time to potentially do that, but to avoid having to pay in April or whenever you file your taxes when you thought you were getting a refund.